Hello, everyone. I'm Jean-Claude Beyond Mystic, and welcome to this evening's Wacky Woo Show. With me, of course, is the one and only, the man, the legend himself, Mr. Jay Widener. You can find him at jwidener.com and also here on his YouTube channel, Reality Check. Jay, welcome back to the show. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Summer's treating me well. Got a bit of a tan. But at the same time, things are getting crazier and crazier by the day, and I don't know what the hell to make of this world, Jay. So thank you for being on tonight. We're going to try to dive into all of this and decode this for the audience members. Thank you, everyone, for joining us on this live interactive show. We are currently triple casting on YouTube, Rumble, and X. And in a few minutes, we're going to be dropping the YouTube channel for obvious reasons to get into some deeper conversations here with our dear friend, Mr. Jay Widener. Jay, how you been doing? We haven't talked for about a month or so, and since we last spoke, like things got actually really crazy to the point where we're being gaslit by our own president, and we're wondering why. So, where do we start? It's just been absolutely mind-boggling to be treated in the way that we've been treated in the last couple of weeks, and to some extent, we think, oh, maybe this is all designed, maybe there's all a plan, and then maybe there's not, and maybe this is all going off the rails. Which is it, Jay? Where do you think we're heading with all of this? Let's start there.
I think that Trump tricked the Democrats into being okay with the release of the Epstein list, and I think it was a masterful move. And he probably is on the list. I mean, he did go there, if there even is a list. But he did hang out with those guys. But this is all like 20 years ago. There's nothing recent has happened outside of the Virginia Giuffre dying in Australia in a strange accident, and this whole Ghislaine Maxwell stuff going on. Her dad, Robert Maxwell, is this big media mogul in England, and he was clearly, Mossad. He admitted it. So he died in a really strange accident. He was yachting in the Caribbean, or maybe the Mediterranean. I can't remember. And then he went swimming, and he never was seen again. No, he was seen again, but he drowned. But his waiter or one of his servants said they saw a frogman earlier out in the water. So it's an old way to get people. But so the whole thing is coming unglued. I don't think there's anything that anybody can do about it. I'm rather anxious to see who's on the list. I think I can guess. And I don't think they're going to put out a list. I think they're going to have like Ghislaine do some kind of congressional testimony, and then she's just going to.
Well, she was just interviewed for 2 days this last week, and apparently at the end of those 2 days, she named 100 names of potential associates, I think is how they framed it in the mainstream news. So we don't know still if those names are the people who are actually hurting children or not, or whether or not they're financial partners to some of the activities on the island. We don't know yet. But what was odd about that? Let me ask you this too. I mean, she's been tried, she's been convicted, and she's in jail for trial trafficking. Why is it just now that the DOJ wants to have a conversation with her about these names? You would think that would have already happened. What's going on with that?
Well, the Democrats didn't want to open it up, so that tells you about who's on the list. And if Trump was on the list, they would have released it. So that doesn't make any sense. So I think that it's the Streisand effect, and Trump created it. Barbara asked everybody to stop photographing her house in Malibu, and all that did was drive thousands of more people to drive by her house and photograph her house in Malibu and put it up on X. So, you can't call attention to it. He's too smart a chess player to know that you can't do that. So he called attention to it on purpose.
Right.
I pretty much believe that.
In that line, I think so too. Like I'm there. I'm just curious at the approach. I'm assuming if that's what he wanted to do and that was his objective, you would think that he would try to reach that objective without necessarily hurting or aggravating his base. And now we've seen in the last 2 or 3 weeks some of his own internal pundits suggesting that, hey, Mr. President, we might be in trouble here with some of our base, especially in context of the incoming primaries. And of course, we don't want Trump to lose any seats and lose any power in the House to move forward with this legislation. So the fact that he was somewhat gaslighting his base, and to the extent of calling them stupid and saying, hey, if you're asking questions about Epstein, you're not a supporter of mine, I don't want you. Why did he need to go that far? I'm curious about that aspect. Do you have a?
That's Trump. I mean, he can't take any criticism, right? So, you
Right.
know, he was being criticized with the Pam Bondi,
Right.
and he just that's the way he reacts. That's how he does it. He can't take it, and so he lashes out, alpha male like, and I really would like to be a fly on the wall in those cabinet meetings with all those alpha males. I bet that's got a lot of tension in it. So
I can
that's
just imagine. Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
at this stage, we just have to accept Trump for what he is, and that he's a Gemini, right? He's going to be schizophrenic. There's just no other way around it.
Right. Now, is there a potential in here? Like you and I have had many conversations over the last years about Q, about the movement, about the so-called trust the plan situation. And we always looked at that from a perspective of, yeah, that's all good and nice. But at the same time, who was it, the Reagan, who said, you must trust, but you also have to verify, right? So there's like, we don't want to give these guys our blind trust and just trust the plan and kind of go away. So in that vein, asking questions about why things are developing the way they are now, seemingly they don't make sense. Part of it could actually just be a strategy to destabilize the enemy, and clearly Trump's an expert at destabilizing the enemy with the way he speaks and the way he gestures and the way he brings things about, even to the point now of maybe aggravating part of his base, even if it's temporary. But is there a potential in here too that some of those things or some of the agendas at play might be at risk right now, that there might be some type of setback they're dealing with that is yet unknown or unacknowledged? And what do we do to make sure that we bring it back on track if that is the case? What would you say, Jay?
No, I don't think things are going off the rails at all. I think that he knows, as I know, that when they start bringing in, what are we at now? Almost $1 trillion in tariffs. When that comes,
700,000, 750, I think, yesterday.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's more than that.
750 billion, they were saying
Yeah,
yesterday. Yeah, exactly. They're
yeah.
actually close to the number they had suggested a couple of years ago, that if they reach that 7 or 3/4 of $1 trillion, that they could eliminate income tax on all income underneath 150K. So we're almost at that mark now, and that's going to be interesting also moving forward. But yes, keep going.
Yeah, he wants to eliminate the income tax. He wants to go back to America of 1870 to 1913. Where we were the number one superpower. We were the number one manufacturing. We had the number one Navy. We had the number one military. We weren't paying income taxes. Everybody was really doing really well. All you have to do is look how much money they spent on all of the world's fairs that went on during that time period. I mean, it was ridiculous. I mean,
Yeah.
it would be half our national budget today just to put on a World's Fair. And so, there really is nowhere to go. He's going in the only place left to go. I mean, he's a chess player. He was a major chess champion in his 20s, and his son's a major chess champion. And he knows how to make moves ahead of time. That's why he's a good businessman. And, I don't think that. Here's what I think. I think maybe, just maybe, it's time to forget about the past. We're so burdened with the present and so burdened with all these possible futures that maybe we should just I'm not saying forget the past, but not put so much passion into things that we can't do anything about. The past doesn't exist. All right. It does not exist. It's gone. You can never go back to it. You can never come back. And so I don't think we should forget Epstein, but I think what we really should be doing is rooting out child trafficking that's going on right now, today. I think that should be our highest priority. But then we can go, if we have time, go back and look at it all. But another thing that is going to be interesting is to look at the possible suspects and their behavior that's going to happen right now. What is Bill Clinton going to do? What is the former Fed chairman going to do? What's going to happen here? Are they going to make moves that are going to make it obvious? And I'm going to say they are. You're probably going to see some people making some idiotic moves because they're afraid that the walls are going to come tumbling down on them. And
Well,
yeah,
let's get to that in just a moment, because was it a month ago or 2 months ago that Trump posted on True Social that all roads led to Obama, and he was asking his audience if we were ready for military tribunal. And the mainstream news completely ignored that. It's like he never said it, but we were like, "Whoa!" A sitting president just pointed the finger at another previous president. I thought that was big. But now this week, Trump is now openly going after Obama. Tulsi Gabbard came out with some of the evidence suggesting that he was involved in this coup d'etat and the fake election and the Russia gate, all these things, right? At the same time, Obama came out the next day. Oh no, that's preposterous. And then there was a tit for tat. Tulsi Gabbard came out. Oh no, look at all this. It's undeniable. Blah blah. And I was questioning that because I'm like, well, hold a second. If they really wanted to put Obama in handcuffs or they were ready for justice, would they lead with their cards open like that to everyone, or they would just do it? Right now, it seems to me like there's a lot of talk, but there's still no action. What do you make of that? Is it because right now the populace wouldn't be ready for the handcuffs and that could cause way more trouble? And now they're starting to, I guess, educate the public, the masses, not necessarily people watching the show, but everybody else, that there is indeed a problem and there is something to be fixed there in terms of justice? Is that what's going on? Or is this, it's just another show or a distraction for now? Or maybe a little bit of both? What do you think?
well, I think a little bit of both. I think that, we can't underestimate this mafia that we're dealing with. They are really, really, as a undercover agent once said to me, the mafia that they'll kill you if you cross them. This mafia that we're talking about, they'll kill your dog, your kids, your wife, and then let you live. That's how bad they are. And so, and then, Trump has rubbed shoulders with this mafia. There's no way. You cannot play the real estate game in Manhattan without being with the mafia. You can't hire unions. You can't, nobody will work for you. You've got to give money to everybody. So, he's been there and he knows who he's dealing with. And he knows they're very dangerous people. But if you notice what he does is he never goes all the way with what this mafia wants. He gives them a little bit and then pulls way back. And because he knows that that's the only way to really deal with these people without them killing you, basically. And I'm pretty sure now that I'm looking at Russiagate and everything that's come out in the last few weeks, that the O-man is probably behind the 2 assassination attempts. Some way. I don't know what, but some way. They do not, the 2
that we kind of know about, but there's another 7 in the mix there. Yeah.
Well, it's very odd. I mean, the assassination attempts, we don't know anything about anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, Crooks, we never interviewed his parents. We don't know if he had a laptop or what was in his room or why he was never on social media and why he was on the phone that day and who he was on the phone with. And I don't know.
It was curious too, because Trump came out the last report. He said, "Oh, I'm satisfied with this. Like, let's move on." I'm like, "Well, we're not satisfied. We want answers." So that too is a little interesting. But again, dealing with this mafia, I think it brings us back all the way back to JFK's assassination. Right? These powers are still at play. Trump knows this, of course, and he's trying to get to a certain objective without getting his head chopped off before he gets to the objective. We all understand that, and we appreciate that. I saw yesterday or the day before too, they just armored his golf cart thing, so now it's like he's got even extra protection. I think that's good for him. But that brings me to the question: when they do start, because eventually I think they must and they will get to the justice, and we'll see people in handcuffs at some point. At that point, that's the critical mass. Do they get to try to eliminate him off the board? Will he have done enough to prevent that scenario from being played out? Is that what's really happening right now, and why there's all this tit for tat and all of this confusion? What do you make of that? Because I believe that once he starts arresting people, then it's like we're in no man's land, and anybody, as you said at the beginning, they might do some things crazy, like pressing that red button and scorched earth theory on everything. Who knows what happens after that? We're in a difficult time right now, don't you think?
And I think he knows that. I think that's why he's being so cautious, and he knows that he knows who he's dealing with, dude. They're really, really serious people, and that they will kill anybody and everybody. And I think that they personally, I think in the last few weeks, like maybe 2 weeks ago, they had a negotiation with this mafia, the big, really strong mafia, and a lot of things were probably said that are really uncomfortable. And I think that's when Trump began backing off with the Epstein list and his own assassination attempts and everything. Some kind of deal was cut.
And why do you peg it to 2 weeks ago? Like, what are the key indicators that suggest
that's
that?
when it all changed. All of a sudden,
Okay, the behavior changed.
Yeah, everything just changed all of a sudden. It was like, what's going on here? And there's clearly some kind of limited hangout, and they can only go so
that
far.
In that conversation, the bad guys kind of agreed to maybe give us Obama, put him in chains, and maybe even Clinton here in exchange for maybe delaying the Epstein things. Do you think that?
No, he already knew about Obama. That's one of the reasons he got so irritated about Epstein, was because he knew the Russia gate was about to drop, and he didn't want anything to get in front of it. And now this was getting in front of it when he knew that this was a much bigger bomb because it's right now, right? And Obama's not going to get arrested. He has Trump has the Supreme Court rule that the president
presidential immunity,
so they're not going to go after.
Although some people were opining today. Yes, but some people are opining today, and I saw some op-eds yesterday too, suggesting that maybe this treason would trump this presidential immunity, and that actual Obama could actually be in trouble. But Trump did say, if you parse his words, because a reporter did ask him, "Hey, that precedent for you and your presidential immunity, does that apply to Obama?" And he said, "Yes, he owes me big time, and probably yes, he's going to be immune from this." He said probably, so he didn't say yes, absolutely, but he says he owes me big time. So that might have been part of that negotiation 2 weeks ago, to where they were kind of mitigating the fallout to all of this stuff.
Trump's not a vindictive guy. There's no evidence of that. He didn't go after Hillary.
We would have seen that in the first term if it was the case. I agree with you.
Yeah, he's not vindictive. I've seen no vindictive behavior at all. In fact, he usually wants to back off from all the military stuff he's being presented with. So, but again, he was dealing with this mafia. When it came to Iran, he had to do something. And I don't know if the world is crying too much that Iran can't, it doesn't have nukes. So it really wasn't that much of a dust up for him. So he's playing a long-term strategy game. He knows he messed up his base, but he knows he can get them back, and he's getting them back slowly but surely. And he is going to go after people, probably more low-level people like Letitia James and that kind of person. Although I do think Brennan, just because Brennan was at the center of the orchestration outside of Obama, but also Brennan's got a real problem, is that he's just unlikable guy. Nobody likes him. And it's like, throw him to the wolves, because nobody likes this dude.
Yeah. Let me just get off YouTube. I think we went far enough already with all of this. I might have to delete that YouTube portion. Guys, I just put a link in the live chat there if you want to come and join us, either on Rumble or on X for the No Holds Barred conversation here. We've got lots of this and much more coming up. So let me just remove this and remove. Yes.